Welcome to the Military Breakdown Podcast. Today we're diving deep into the future of American tanks. Specifically, we're looking at the M1 Abrams and how it's being modernized.
Yeah, it's a pretty hot topic, especially with everything we've learned from recent conflicts.
Exactly. Ukraine in particular seems to be, well, a major driver for change here.
Absolutely. It's providing some critical real-world data that's really shaping the next steps for the Abrams.
So our plan today is to unpack what's pushing this modernization, what new tech is going in, and what it all means for warfare down the road, say 2040 or so.
And the speed is definitely worth noting.
Right, the Army's pushing hard on this M1E3 Abrams. They're talking initial capability in the early 2030s.
Maybe even fielding in 24 to 30 months, which is incredibly fast for this kind of program.
It really is a huge shift from the usual defense acquisition timelines. Let's get into that first.
Okay, so one of the biggest initial moves was the decision to basically skip the final step of the previous plan.
You mean the M1A2 SEPV4?
Exactly. They decided to close that effort out and jump straight into developing this new version, the M1E3.
Okay, so why the big jump? What's the thinking behind going directly to the M1E3?
Well, there are a few key things going on. First, just a clear need to really optimize the tank mobility, survivability for future threats. And there was this growing realization that you can't just keep bolting things onto the Abrams forever.
Right, the weight issue.
Yeah, exactly. As Major General Dean pointed out, you keep adding capability, you add weight. And that weight, well, it drags down everything: logistics, deployability.
And I guess Ukraine really hammered that home, the practical challenge.
Oh, definitely. In a big way. We saw the need for protection that's actually built into the tank's design, not just added on later.
Yeah.
Plus, the actual performance of the M1A1s sent there highlighted some vulnerabilities to modern anti-tank stuff.
And the logistics you mentioned, the weight, the fuel, that really bites in a real fight, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. High fuel consumption, difficulty moving it around. Those are hard lessons feeding directly into what the M1E3 needs to be.
Okay, so given those drivers' weight, survivability, lessons learned, what kind of tech are we talking about for the M1E3? What are the key pieces?
Well, a foundational piece is adopting a modular open systems architecture, a MESA.
Ah, MESA. We hear that a lot across military modernization.
Right, and for good reason. The idea here is to follow the latest standards so you can swap out tech faster, upgrade modules without, tearing the whole tank apart.
Makes sense. Faster upgrades, fewer resources needed. Like Legos, sort of.
Yeah, kind of. The goal is a more survivable, lighter tank now, but also one that's much easier and cheaper to keep relevant in the future as things change.
Okay, besides MOS, what else is significant?
The hybrid electric propulsion system. That's a potential game changer.
The Army's first hybrid tank.
If it happens, yeah. And the benefits they're shooting for are pretty compelling, maybe up to 50% better fuel efficiency.
Wow, 50%. That directly addresses those logistical headaches we talked about.
Exactly. And it does more. A hybrid system should reduce the tank's heat signature, its electromagnetic output, basically making it harder to find and target.
So stealthier and less thirsty. Any impact on, say, silent operation?
Potentially, yes. Things like silent watch capability could be a real tactical advantage.
Interesting. What about the gun and the crew? Any changes there?
There's talk of integrating an autoloader.
An autoloader? That could change the crew configuration, couldn't it?
It could. It might support a future unmanned turret, which obviously reduces risk to soldiers inside the tank. That seems to be a long-term goal.
And protection. With drones and new missiles, that's got to be a focus.
Huge focus. They're looking at a next-gen active protection system, or APS. The current trophy system is good, but the threats are evolving.
So something they can handle more than just missiles and RPGs, like drones.
Precisely. The aim is an APS that can intercept a much wider range of threats, anti-tank guided missiles, sure, but also armed drones, loitering munitions, the whole spectrum. It needs to be deeply integrated.
That drone threat is just exploding.
Yeah.
A new APS feels essential. What about AI? Is that finding its way in?
Oh, definitely. AI integration is planned for improving situational awareness and helping with target recognition.
So helping the crew spot things faster.
Yeah, think automatic target recognition. Programs like ATLAS are looking into this. The idea is to potentially help the crew engage more targets more quickly, maybe automate some of that workload.
So the AI isn't replacing the crew, but augmenting them, helping them process all the incoming information.
Exactly. It's about making the human crew more effective, especially under pressure.
Got it. Any other key tech areas we should touch on? Munitions?
Yeah.
armor?
Well, there's potential for advanced main gun systems, maybe even those gun-launched anti-tank missiles that were studied a few years back. Plus, improved modular armor designed for modern threats, better C4ISR command control, comms, computers, intel, surveillance, reconnaissance systems.
Better connectivity, basically.
Right. Better networking, ability to link up with unmanned systems, drones, ground robots, and advanced masking or signature management tech, too.
It really sounds like a ground-up rethinking in many ways. So how does this transition actually happen from the current SEPv3 to this M1E3?
It'll be phased. They'll keep producing the M1A2 SEP3 for a while, just at a slower rate, while the M1E3 production ramps up.
And the work done on that canceled SEPv4 isn't just lost.
No, not at all. The Army's been clear that technologies and lessons from SEP4 will be rolled into the M1E3 design. That E designation, M1E3, signifies a major engineering change, not just another incremental update. It's a bigger deal.
Okay, so it signals a significant redesign. Yeah. What are the top-level goals here? What does success look like for the M1E3 program?
Fundamentally, a more survivable and lighter tank. That hits those core issues, which then leads to better mobility, both tactically on the battlefield and operationally, getting it where it needs to go.
And less of a burden on logistics, right?
Yeah.
Easier to sustain.
Exactly. Reduced sustainment footprint, lower fuel demands, partly thanks to that hybrid potential. Ultimately, it's about making those armored brigade combat teams more effective, more maneuverable.
And the most to say helps with costs down the line.
Yeah, faster tech upgrades, potentially lower life cycle costs, and of course, increased lethality and survivability to handle future threats at longer ranges.
It sounds ambitious, especially that timeline. How are they trying to make it happen so fast? Collaboration.
Very close collaboration with industry seems key. General Dynamics Land Systems obviously is deeply involved. That contract awarded in May 2024 was specifically to work together on defining requirements and pushing the design forward.
And the Army's taking more risks, streamlining things.
They're talking about accepting responsible risk and cutting through some of the usual acquisition red tape to speed things up. It's also being timed alongside the XM30 infantry vehicle development, so they're thinking about the future armored fleet holistically.
And funding is coming from existing Abrams money for now.
That's the plan, yes. Reallocating existing budget lines initially.
Interesting. This whole approach, the speed, the industry partnership.
Yeah.
Could it have broader implications beyond just the Abrams?
It certainly could. The M1E3 effort might become a sort of test case, a pathfinder for wider Army acquisition reform. The way they're working with industry, giving them maybe a bit more flexibility on components, could lead to more resilient supply chains.
And the tech itself, like hybrid electric.
Right. Advancements there align with the Army's bigger push for hybrid and electric tactical vehicles across the board, so there could be shared benefits and learning there.
This has been really fascinating. The M1E3 really does seem like a major step, driven by battlefield realities and, well, a new approach to development. Hybrid power, advanced protection, AI. It paints a picture of a very different tank for the future.
It does. It shows a real commitment from the Army to adapt, to innovate for whatever the next conflict looks like. It's definitely not just business as usual for the Abrams.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive for today. So, thinking about all this, what aspects of the M1E3 development stand out most to you? And looking ahead, what other technologies do you think will be vital for armored warfare in the coming decades? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. And please share this discussion if you found it interesting, especially with anyone keen on military tech. Make sure you subscribe to the Military Breakdown podcast for more analysis like this, and definitely check out our back catalog for other deep dives into key military developments.